Hello students, Ms. Swanson here, and today we're going to learn about the integumentary system, sometimes referred to as the skin system, but there are a lot of other parts besides just the skin that are involved. And I chose this picture here. It's actually a picture of a model of the integumentary system, and it shows all of the different parts. So you can see in addition to just the skin, there's hair, there's fat, there's nerves, there's glands, and so on. So we have a couple learning goals here today. You should be able to describe the role of the integumentary system, and you should be able to list and describe the parts. So first of all, what is the integumentary system? It's the external covering of the body, and that includes skin, hair, nails, and sweat glands. And what about the roles? Well, there are a few roles here. It's a protective covering for the body. It contains sensory receptors for pain, pressure, temperature. So we have nerves running through our integumentary system, and that will allow information to be sent to our central nervous system about these issues. It regulates body temperature, and this should actually be a separate point there. It regulates body temperature. Also, it helps excrete or get rid of nitrogenous wastes. And it manufactures vitamin D, so a special important vitamin for us. And you can see the picture at the bottom there. That's actually a plasticized human holding up his own skin. So it's been preserved specially so that it can be brought to different museums around the world. It won't decay, and you can see he's actually holding up his own skin. So there are three major regions. The first one is the epidermis, which is the outermost layer, the top layer that we would actually see. The dermis is the middle layer, and then the hypodermis is the bottom layer, the deepest layer. And each of these have several layers within them, but we're just going to focus on these main regions. So first of all, the epidermis, its main role is protection from the external environment, and it's made up of epithelial tissue. It has 5 layers, and you'll be reading about these in class when we do an activity. The next layer is the dermis. So this is used to cushion the body, and it's also to protect it from stress and from strain. And it contains a whole lot of connective tissue, so collagen, elastin, blood vessels, fat. It also has nervous tissue, and it also has muscle tissue. And then in between the dermis and the epidermis, some of the dermis actually pushes up into the epidermal layer, and that causes these sort of bumps and folds and wrinkles, and that helps us grab things and hold on to them. You may be able to see those on your fingers, and for example, if you put your finger down on a surface, you may see a residual layer of oils on the surface, and we know those as fingerprints. So they're actually called friction ridges when they're on our body, and they're fingerprints when we touch things. Finally is the hypodermis, which is the lowest layer, and it's used to store fat. And it contains connective tissue, so collagen, fat, blood vessels. It contains nervous tissue. It also has hair follicles, and it has glands. And then here's some other parts. These are sort of strewn throughout those 3 layers. There's sweat glands to help us prevent from overheating. Sebaceous glands, which secrete a type of oil to soften our skin. There are nails to help us pick things up. Hair for warmth. There's adipose tissue, which is fat tissue, and that's used for insulation or warmth, also to help cushion from injury. Blood vessels, and those bring nutrients and oxygens to our cells, and they get rid of carbon dioxide or other wastes. There are nerves to help us sense pain, pressure, temperature, and there's muscle to help us move. So all of these are considered parts of the integumentary system. So let's take another look at our learning goals. Can you describe the role of the integumentary system? And can you list and describe the parts? If you can do all these things, fantastic. If not, please rewatch the video. And if you're still having trouble, come ask me in class tomorrow. Alright, that's all for now. Bye-bye.